Do you believe the US and the Europe are running out of weapons to send to Ukraine? The US has been by far the largest supplier of military aid to Ukraine in its war with Russia, providing about 15.2 billion in weapons packages to date since the war started in February. The US and the Europe gave Ukrainians a blank check since the beginning of the war and vowed to aid Ukraine as long as the war goes on. But things have changed dramatically. Last week, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg held a special meeting to discuss ways to refill member nations' weapons stockpiles. But ramping up defense production is not quick or easy task because the Ukrainians finishing the weapon stocks faster than they can ever be produced. In the US weapons industry, the normal production level for artillery rounds for 150mm Howitzer, which is a long-range heavy artillery weapon currently being used in the battlefield of Ukraine and which gave huge advantage for the Ukrainian forces, is about 30,000 rounds per year. But that's in peacetime. The Ukrainian soldiers fighting Russian forces go through that amount in roughly 2 weeks. Imagine, only 2 weeks. According to military analysts, peacetime Western nations producing arms at much smaller volumes, and some of weapons that are running low are no longer being produced. A highly skilled labor and experience are required for their production, things that have been in short supply across the United States manufacturing sector for years. According to Dave, a senior military fellow at the US National Defense University, is worried. He told, I quote, "I am greatly concerned. Unless we have new production which takes months to ramp up, we are not going to have the ability to supply the Ukrainians." Meanwhile, Joseph Borrell, the EU's High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, said earlier this month, Europe is running low too. The military stocks of most member states have been, I wouldn't say exhausted, but depleted in high proportion, because we have been providing a lot of capacity to the Ukrainians. The United States has essentially run out of 150mm Howitzer to give to Ukraine. To send any more, it would have to dip into its own stock reserves. But that's unlikely to happen. According to Pentagon, it will not going to happen. The US and the Europe Union was not expecting to be moving on like this. The war in Ukraine does not seem to be ending anytime soon too. And the West beginning to realize a major mistake that have been encountered. Do you think the West can ramp up its arms, ammunition production for continuous supply for Ukrainians? Let us know in the comments.